Hello, survivors, and welcome back to Unturned 3 Early Preview. Today we're going to take a look at 3.9.9.0. This is a very small patch that was just released either, I guess, last night or early this morning. I'm not exactly sure. I just happened to notice it on my Steam page today when I sat down at the computer. But it's a rather small patch, but with very large and significant impact on the game. It's kind of a controversial feature. Lots of people talking about it. Many people are up in arms with rage. Others up in arms with cheer. And we're going to, not cheers, but cheer. C-H-E-E-R. Well, they might have cheers too, maybe whacking each other. But we're going to jump in and have a look at this feature and chat about it a bit. And check this out. I haven't killed any Mega Zombies yet. Well, we have to do something about that maybe today. We've got the Mad Papa Smurf here with us in his Mad Max Road Warrior garb. And he's going to be doing the demonstration, the tour today, so let's hop in and get started. Alright guys, here we are in Canada at the Papa Smurf testing grounds. This is where things get blowed up and people bleed a lot. But hey, you know, it's all for science. But today, my friends, we're just going to do something relatively safe. I want to show you one thing and then we'll be done. But we will we'll talk about the implications of this very small feature with a big bite. So go ahead, sit down, and hold on to your butt. So you ready? 3, 2, 1, bam. Third person viewpoint. That's my right shoulder. This is my left shoulder. And you get to this viewpoint, by the way, by pressing your E key. And that is configurable, so you can change it if you like, but it's just a toggle. So first person view, third person over the shoulder view, and then your lean keys will switch to left and right, depending on what shoulder you want to look over. Let's take out a gun, and let's see how it looks. Here we go. I personally prefer it on this side, though I'm not a real big fan of playing in third-person mode. I do like the fact that we have it available now, especially for doing, like, dramatic sequences in video. So as a YouTuber, I think this is fantastic. I really do like it. I'll play this way occasionally, but not very often. Typically, I prefer the full immersion of a first-person mode, but there have been numerous times when I'm making videos where I wish to the high heavens that I had a third-person mode. However, this is not a full third-person mode view. This isn't really exactly what I thought Nelson was talking about. And I have a feeling a lot of people that were up in arms about this third-person view that didn't want it may feel the same way, because I was thinking this was going to be a full 360-degree camera control where you could spin it all the way around and look at your face and literally look behind you and see what's behind you. But that's not the case. This is truly an over-the-shoulder thing. So let's take a look at this, how it works mechanically first, and then we will discuss the philosophical implications, because they're pretty big. Get a lot of people who have, who are raging right now at this. But let's do some shootery in third person. So clearly, in third person, when you bring up your gun and you bring up your sight, because this gun has a scope. Now, in first person, I bring up my scope, I can see through it. It's a telescopic sight, so I can see really far. I can see that fella over there, and I can shoot him. That's a zombie, by the way. It's okay. They eat people. I can shoot him in the head with one shot, no problem, even standing up. Now, if we switch to third-person mode, now let's find another target. Oh, there's one. Yeah, is that a target down there? Yeah. Oh, he's in the flowers. He's picking roses. He's smelling the roses today. Not for long. But at least he's taking the time out to do that. Everyone should do that, by the way. Smell the roses. But here's what happens when I hold on my right mouse button and I zoom. So I do get a tiny bit of zoom. I mean, a real tiny bit. And you can see the reticle, right, closes a bit. It gets a little tighter, so we're going to get a tighter grouping and better aim. But it's not really nearly as telescopic as the scope is here, right? Obviously. So I suppose you can consider this as a kind of a disadvantage if you're playing in third-person mode and you're trying to get a good headshot like this. I'm not doing too well. I'm trying to get him right in the center, but it's very tricky. Here we go. Stop and smell the roses, buddy! Or, well, actually don't, because you might get shot. So, again, it's actually a disadvantage in my eyes if you're trying to get a good scoped shot. Now, I imagine the same thing with the, yeah, so here's, well, we don't have a sight on here right now, an iron sight, but let's just see. Yeah, same deal. All right. Well, that test is complete. Now, let us reload the gun, and why don't we, let's go down into town and try some melee, because I'm curious to see how that works. Because we have a dot there in front of us, so that must be our aiming reticle, right? Yeah, let's go see if we put that right on top of somebody. And I want to check the car. Now, oh, wow. Now that is a 3D view. This is what I'm talking about with camera control. 360-degree full freedom movement here. That I like as far as a YouTuber goes. I think that's great. I like it. But this clearly gives the player an advantage because they can obviously look anywhere around them. They can see what's behind them. They can see what's on the sides, above and below, and so forth and so on. And that, my friends, is one of the main arguments with third person. So a lot of the people that did not want this and voted against it in Nelson's straw poll believe that it gave significant advantage in multiplayer. Significant advantage in multiplayer. That's a significant advantage against someone that plays 100% of the time in first person. Right? It certainly does. This doesn't. I don't think so. Not very much. Maybe around a tree it will. That's too narrow, but let's go try a tree. But first, I do want to try this. Before we get into the philosophical stuff, I do want to go smack somebody with a spike bat. Now, if I put the dot right on his head, it doesn't even seem to hit him, does it? Oh, that would do it. Actually, it seems like it's just a little to the left, isn't it? It is. It's a little to the left. Let's try that again. Hey, buddy, say hello to my spike bat. Now, just stand still. This is what I like. I get volunteers for my demonstrations. Now, I said no one's going to get hurt in this demonstration, experimentation, but I didn't mean them. I meant me. All right, let's see. Yep. Yes, it seems like it's off a little bit, so Nelson's going to have to fix that. Clearly, it's off to the left. Ow! See? Told you I got hurt. Oops. So that has to be fixed up. Again, this is, it's an early preview. This isn't the release version of Unturned, and things are going to change. In fact, this third person may just go away. Maybe Nelson decides to take it out. I don't know. I'm just here to report the news, my friends. That's what I do. It's my job, is to share the science. Now, I did want to try... Let's go get behind a tree, because this could be considered an advantage. Let's see. So if I'm behind a tree, and there's another player over there, right? Say in that building, and we're shooting at each other, and I can do this, and he can't get me right now, because I'm safe, right? Pretty much. If I go... Let's go to first person, yeah. I don't think I could get shot here, but now I have a super clear view of the two windows. Right? And if I lean over... Okay, leaning doesn't do anything in third, but I can move around and I can swing over to this side too and keep an eye on that building almost front and back. Almost, but not quite. So, yeah, alright, there's a slight advantage there. Definitely an advantage of third person over first person, because in first person you're going to have to get over to the side and expose yourself, essentially. So there, okay, yeah, a little bit of an advantage. Now that we've established the advantage and disadvantage of playing in first person or third person, and vice versa, let's talk about why it's really kind of a moot point, this whole advantage discussion and disadvantage discussion, because first of all, this is going to be a server-side option. Nelson already said that they're going to give the server operators the ability to choose one or the other. So you're going to have some servers will be third person. Hey, let's get this out of here. Yeah, so essentially you will be able to pick and choose which server you want to play on. If you prefer first-person viewpoint and only first person, so that no one has an advantage in third person, then guess what? Oh, you like that? Then pick a first-person only server, and they will be available. If you like third person and first person, then you would pick a server that has both both available, right? Or maybe some servers only have third person, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but they might be out there. So, options. I like options. Options are good. Right, buddy? Yes, he agrees. So, I think options are good. The more options, the better. So, win-win-win, essentially. Now, there is an argument out there where people say, well, if you give server operators the ability to have a server on third or first person, most of them, or all of them, some people are saying all of them, will have third person and first person because it gives more options. I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that's the case. I think, well, we're going to have servers that have first person and servers that have both. Because in my experience, in DayZ, there were plenty of first person only servers. And that's the only way I play. I personally prefer this first person over third person any day of the week. In fact, why don't we try a third person shooter here up close? So it looks like the reticle is perfect up close, isn't it? But yeah, I don't like playing this way. No, I don't. I much prefer the first person. And I don't want to play on servers that allow third person. So you would think that I'd be against it, right? Because I only play this way. And I don't want people to have an advantage of being able to look around trees or around corners or behind them. So why am I for first person, third person? Well, again, it's because of options. I like options. I like having that ability to pick and choose. Maybe someday I want to play this way. Maybe I want to make a sequence in a video, right? Which I had already mentioned. I'm probably belaboring that point. But the fact of the matter is, guys, I think having extra options is the way to go. I think Nelson did the right thing. I really like this too because, again, this is not a full 360 view outside of the car. I think that's a good compromise. I think many people that were against third-person view might look at this and say, well, that's okay. That's not too bad. That's a good concession. You know, because, hey, life is all about making concessions. And you have to compromise. And I think that's a good compromise. Now, what did I pick up? Oh, that's a rotten flashlight. I won't eat that one. Okay, we'll have this apple juice. And I did get hurt, didn't I? Yes, I did. Not too badly, but we'll just wrap it up with some dressings. So I guess that's it, guys. I've said my piece. I showed you what we have here. This, I think, might be kind of an advantage, and maybe Nelson will change this. Maybe we'll only be able to look forward and maybe a bit to the side. But I'm still hoping for a full 100% spin around camera view for my dramatic sequences in my Let's Plays. But that's kind of a, you know, that's a selfish thing. I'm not thinking of anyone else in that respect. I'm hoping that maybe that's added just a single player and then it wouldn't affect anyone. Alright, guys. I'm kind of off on a tangent again, aren't I? Yeah, that happens. I apologize. It definitely happens with me occasionally. But the point is, I would like to have some sort of single-player 360-degree camera view, maybe in an admin command or something that we could type into the console, just that kind of thing, you know. And then I can see myself from the front. And that would just be for making videos and stuff. And with that said, I think we're going to call it quits. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and feel free to add your 2 cents down below in the comments about your feelings on third-person mode. But if you do so, let's have a debate and debate the idea. Do not insult or make fun of people or use foul language. Let's do it with maturity and use logic. And a reasonable head. And cool heads prevail, right? Alright, anyway. Alright, guys, with that, I'm going to call it quits. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, left shoulder. Goodbye, right shoulder. Have a good night. Bye-bye.